Thanks for joining us. I'm Raymond Goh, and this is Nightline. The top stories. No evidence of foul play in death of Nora N. And police open probe amid calls to ban Dong Zhong. Good morning. The authorities have ruled out foul play in the mysterious death of Nora Ann Quarin, whose remains were found by a stream 10 days after she disappeared from a resort in Pantai Hills, Negeri Sembilan. Medical experts who conducted a 10-hour autopsy on her remains ruled that her death was due to upper gastrointestinal bleeding, likely caused by starvation and prolonged stress. According to Negeri Sembilan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Mat Yusof, post-mortem findings showed no signs of Nora Ann being raped, abducted or subjected to any form of violence.
The cause of death was upper gastrointestinal bleeding due to duodenal ulcer complicated with perforation. Bleeding internal in her intestine.
The four pathologists, led by Kuala Lumpur Hospital forensic pathologist Dr. Siu Shui Feng, also found no other injuries to Nora's body except for a bruise on her leg. Datuk Muhammad also said that Nora Ann had died 2 or 3 days before her body was found on Tuesday. Several samples from Nora Ann's body have also been sent to the chemistry department for a more detailed post-mortem result. A search and rescue team found Nora Ann's remains by a stream some 2.5 kilometers away from the Dusun resort where she was staying with her family. She had checked into the resort with her parents Sebastian Marie Philippe and Miep Jesaprin Quarin and siblings Ines Julia and Maurice Arthur on August 3rd. She, however, was not found in the room she shared with her siblings the following morning, and a window in the room that could only be opened from the inside was found open. Police will summon controversial preacher Dr. Zakir Naik and tycoon Kun Yu Yin for questioning over the controversial remarks made by the duo. Home Minister Muhyiddin Yassin said Dong Zhong, the Chinese education group, would also be called in. In a statement on Thursday, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said that police had called in several other individuals for questioning, some of whom are being monitored. Earlier, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said he had taken note of certain parties that issued racially tinged statements without considering the sensitivities of the country's multiracial citizens. Dr. Zakir Naik recently stirred controversy when he touched on the loyalty of Malaysian Hindus towards Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. Kun, meanwhile, was slammed after claiming that the armed forces personnel were doing nothing except eating and sleeping. While Dong Zhong, which was vocal against the teaching of Hat in vernacular schools, had claimed that the Jawi calligraphy could be used as a medium to spread Islam, a charge the Education Ministry denied. Tan Sri Muhyiddin went on to reveal that the police, along with the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, were keeping tabs on statements, especially on social media, that could aggravate any situation. In the meantime, federal police have launched an investigation into the United Chinese School Committees Association, or Dong Zhong, following calls for the Chinese educationist group to be banned. Federal Criminal Investigation Department Director Dato' Huzair Muhammad, who confirmed this, said Bukit Aman's Classified Criminal Investigation Unit will handle the investigation.
Sebanyak 6 laporan polis yang telah dibuat dan kita telah membuka kertas siasatan yang mana siasatan dia akan dibuat oleh pihak USJT Bukit Aman, unit siasatan jenayah terkelas Bukit Aman di bawah D5. Dah ada IP dibuka. Okay, kita tengok hasil siasatan dia macam mana dan kita akan ambil tindakan susulan.
Dato' Huze was speaking to the media at the Selangor Contingent Police Headquarters in Shah Alam, Selangor on Thursday. However, he could not confirm when Dongzong members would be summoned to provide their statements, but gave his assurance that it would happen in due course. On Monday, the Prime Minister said it is up to the police to decide whether Dongzong should be banned. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the organisation would be violating the law if it allegedly keeps on instigating and inciting communities against one another.
You must think also about the feelings of other people. When we do something.
On another issue, Dato' Huze said police have recorded the statements of 12 individuals in connection with the Bandar Baru Bangi road rage incident, which claimed the life of 29-year-old Syed Muhammad Daniel Syed Shakir last Saturday. He said police also recorded the statements of 3 more people at the Kajang police station Thursday afternoon.
Kita telah jalankan siasatan. Setakat ini kita telah merakam sebanyak 12 saksi awam. Okey. 12 saksi awam. Ada di kalangan mereka yang dikatakan berada di situ ketika kejadian dan ada yang selepas kejadian berlaku. Dan ada juga di kalangan saksi-saksi ini yang ada membuat laporan polis kerana telah dikatakan menyaksikan kejadian tersebut. Dan petang ni ada lagi 3. Okay? Lagi 3 saksi yang akan tampil untuk memberi statement kepada pihak polis Kajang.
Dato' Huze said they have obtained Syed Muhammad Daniel's post-mortem examination results. He, however, declined to disclose the findings. Putrajaya on Thursday announced that Linus Malaysia Sdn Bhd's operating license in Pahang has been extended, but its period has been shortened to 6 months instead of the usual 3 years. The announcement was made by the Atomic Energy Licensing Board, AELB, in a statement on Thursday. The operating license of the rare earth processing plant in Gebeng, Kuantan, was supposed to expire on September 2nd. According to AELB, which comes under the Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change Ministry, it is giving a 6-month extension to Linus, but this comes with several conditions. Among others, the agency said the company must build its cracking and leaching facility outside Malaysia within 4 years of the renewal, after which it would not be allowed to produce radioactive residue exceeding 1 becquerel per gram at its plant in Gebeng. It also said that the company must identify a permanent disposal facility, PDF, with a written approval from the relevant state government. AELB will also closely monitor and ensure that the construction and management of the facility follow international standards. Linus is the largest manufacturer of rare earths outside of China, which processes rare earth mined from Mount Weld in Western Australia. The government will not bail out DreamEdge Sdn Bhd, the anchor company of the third national car project, if it fails. International Trade and Industry Minister Dato' Darryl Leiking said this is because the project is solely running on private investments and not by the government.
More important part of your question. If it fails, will there be a bailout? No, there will not be, because this is a private initiative. It is not government initiative, it is private initiative. The government wants to support a new ecosystem. If it fails, that is failure of management, that is failure of the product. But in this case, their product is very clear that they are able to work with a Japanese technology. They are very confident of it, and why should we kill it? There are many others who are also proposing, and we will support it in many ways.
When asked why it is called a national car project when it is a private initiative, Dato' Darryl explained that unlike previously, in the new proposed national automotive policy, national cars are now defined as those built in Malaysia by a Malaysian company which employs 90% or more Malaysians. Speaking to the media in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday, the minister also said that DreamEdge had given assurances that it would not seek government funding. To date, DreamEdge has not sought any government incentives for the third national car project. Torrential rains over the Klang Valley for more than an hour on Thursday had caused chaos, especially in Subang Jaya, Selangor, as a major road in the USJ area was turned into a river. Several videos have cropped up on Twitter and other social media platforms showing cars swept away by strong currents in a flash flood that hit Persiaran Kewajipan. The flooding had also caused heavy congestion in the area, as well as multiple accidents and stalled vehicles. A viral video clip also showed two cars being swept away by the swift-flowing floodwaters in front of the Subang Jaya District Police Headquarters. Other areas affected included USJ 8 and Summit USJ, as well as Persiaran Subang Permai outside Giant USJ. Subang Jaya District Police Chief ACP Risikin Satiman, in a statement, said the floodwaters rose to about a meter in some places. He also said that in a matter of an hour, the situation returned to normal and traffic was flowing smoothly. Fortunately, no one was injured in the floods. Netizens on Twitter also reported parts of Shah Alam and Puchong were inundated. The Fire and Rescue Department in Sarawak expects to put out the forest fires in the state before schools reopen on Monday. It also said that the Bombardier aircraft from the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, had arrived in Miri on Thursday to help with its firefighting operations in affected areas. He also added that a number of forest fires in Miri have also reduced because of the heavy rains in the area and in Cebu. Meanwhile, Kirudin also warned those who were involved in sabotage activities in regard to the forest fires not to do so again, as severe action would be taken. Still to come on Nightline, Pursuit Police Chief injured in Parang attack. Welcome back. The number of domestic tourists showed a double-digit growth of 10.9% last year, recording a total of 78.2 million domestic tourists as compared to 70.5 million domestic tourists in 2017. In 2018, Pahang also emerged as the top holiday destination in Malaysia among locals, with 9.3 million arrivals, followed by Johor, Perak and Selangor. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Datuk Muhammadin Ketapi said domestic tourists spent a total of 60.4 billion ringgit last year, 11.7% higher compared to figures recorded in 2017. The bulk of the spending went to shopping, buying fuel, food and beverages, and visiting households. As for accommodation, they preferred unpaid accommodation provided by relatives and friends as the main choice of accommodation. This followed by hotels, apartments, homestays, chalets and rest houses. With the encouraging growth of domestic tourism, Datuk Muhammadin is confident that next year's Visit Malaysia Year 2020 campaign can be a success. Meanwhile, Kuala Lumpur emerged as the second friendliest city in the world, according to Big 7 Travel. The capital of Malaysia is only behind Vancouver, Canada, in the list of 50 friendliest cities in the world, according to a survey carried out by the global travel site on some 1.5 million people. Other cities which made the top 10 include Bruges, Belgium in third place, Taipei, Taiwan, fourth place, Hamburg, Germany in fifth position, followed by Dublin, Ireland and Christchurch, New Zealand. The website also noted that these cities across the globe make one feel welcomed based on how easy the city is to navigate or strangers helping you find your way when the pesky roaming data doesn't work, to making new best friends in a local bar. Earlier this year, the travel website named Malaysia among the top 20 most Instagrammable countries. Malaysia emerged among the best travel destinations, including Pulau Pinang by CNN Travel, for one of the best destinations to visit for the ultimate Asia experience in June this year, as well as topping the 2017 Global Muslim Travel Index as the best Muslim travel destination in the world. Besut District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Zamri Muhammad Rawi lost his right thumb and suffered injuries in the back of his head after he was slashed by a man believed to be mentally unstable in front of his house in Kampung Padang Luas, Besut on Thursday. Terengganu Police Chief Dato' Aidi Ismail said police have arrested the suspect at 4:15 p.m. at Felda Selasih, Besut, as he attempted to escape. Dato' Aidi said during the incident, the victim was approached by the 32-year-old suspect, who was Muhammad Zamri's neighbor, to complain that the victim had planted a coconut tree on his land. The victim ignored him and asked the suspect to go home instead, but the suspect went to his car and brought out a parang before slashing the victim. Dato' Aidi said the victim, aged 55, was reported stable and still being treated at Hospital University Science, Malaysia. In Johor, police have arrested 39 individuals and clamped down on 5 vehicle theft gangs in Iskandar Puteri since January this year. Iskandar Puteri Deputy District Police Chief Superintendent Ibrahim Matsom said that a task force dubbed Ops Lejang Khas Iskandar Puteri was formed in the beginning of the year to curb vehicle thefts plaguing the district. 8 cars and 18 motorcycles worth 288,000 ringgit were also seized during the operations. Over in Putrajaya, a man with the title Dato' was charged with 2 counts of cheating by impersonation at the Magistrates Court on Thursday. In the first charge, the 37-year-old was accused of assuming the identity of one Dato' Ridwan at the Health Minister's office in Putrajaya on March 28th. If found guilty, he could face a jail term of 7 years. For the second charge, the suspect was accused of impersonating a National Institute of Forensic Medicine officer at the same location and date of the first charge. For this offence, the suspect could be imprisoned for a maximum of 2 years if found guilty. The suspect, however, pleaded not guilty. In Kedah, the State Royal Malaysian Customs Department has foiled a fake liquor bottling operation using fake customs duty stamps, following a raid carried out at a premises in Taman Dahlia, Kuala Lumpur on August 7th. The enforcement team also seized equipment used in the activities such as bottles, stickers and labels of various liquor brands. Coming up, powerful storm Krosa lashes Japan, snarls holiday travel. Welcome back. A powerful tropical storm lashed Japan on Thursday, killing at least 1 person and injuring 21 others from 8 prefectures. According to authorities, Typhoon Krosa made landfall near Kure at about 3 p.m. local time and was expected to travel toward the Sea of Japan through the country's western region in the evening. More than 7,000 residents were forced to evacuate their homes following the weather agency's warning of record rainfall exceeding 1,200 millimeters, while evacuations were ordered in 15 other prefectures in western and southwestern Japan amid warnings of landslides and floods. Krosa also sparked travel chaos as people returned to major cities following the Obon holiday, after more than 720 domestic flights were cancelled to and from cities in western Japan, and bullet train services were either scrapped or sharply reduced. Ferries connecting the southern Shikoku Island and other parts of Japan were also cancelled as high waves lashed the coast. The United States has requested on Thursday that Gibraltar hold in detention an Iranian supertanker at the center of a standoff between Tehran and London that sparked tensions in the oil-rich Gulf. The British Overseas Territories Supreme Court was set to release the vessel named Grace 1 when the U.S. Justice Department applied for the vessel to be seized. The U.S. Justice Department, however, did not detail the basis for the request other than as mutual legal assistance. The move was announced by Attorney Joseph Trier and delayed the court decision on the vessel's fate. The captain and 3 officers from Grace 1, meanwhile, had their police bail lifted and were formally released without any charges. The supertanker carrying 2.1 million barrels of Iranian oil was seized by Gibraltar police and British special forces, provoking a diplomatic crisis after it was suspected of carrying oil to war-torn Syria in violation of separate EU and US sanctions. French tightrope artist Tatiana Mosio Bongonga has opened a new circus festival in Prague by walking across the Czech capital's river Vltava. The 35-year-old needed about 40 minutes to walk the 350 meters on the 16-millimeter rope at a height of 35 meters. Together, let's take a look at this as we wrap up Nightline this time around. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.